Suddenly, a young robber suddenly shows up at the supermarket. They quickly drop to the ground. Then the robber rushes to the checkout counter. Without a word, he tosses out the backpack. The cashier is completely stunned, hastily stuffing all the money into the bag. But the robber still isn't satisfied.
What? The safe? Safe. Tony!
Realizing his ex-girlfriend has recognized him, the robber freezes for 2 seconds, then pulls the trigger. Watching his ex-girlfriend get shot in the abdomen, Tony panics, grabs the bag, and tries to flee. The next moment, his ex-girlfriend suddenly springs up, using all her strength to pounce on him. The girl won't let this scumbag go even in death. Tony tries to grab the gun, but is yanked down instantly. The pistol gets kicked away to who knows where. Then he is choked tightly around the neck. Unfortunately, the girl is at her limit. She holds on for a few seconds before losing consciousness. Tony finally breaks free, grabs the bag and makes a frantic escape, but forgets to take his pistol. And that gun just happens to slide right in front of a customer. He stares intensely at this Desert Eagle, such a beautiful handgun. He's only seen it in magazines. So the man curiously picks it up. Little did he know from the moment he lifted that truth, he felt his body fill with power, as if the whole world was under his control. So he secretly takes the gun home and locks it in a drawer in the basement. The man was originally a university professor, living a restrained and dull life, but ever since he accidentally got this pistol, his life started to change. That very night, a group of noisy punks shows up at his doorstep and even damaged the rearview mirror of his car. As usual, the professor would have swallowed his anger. Unexpectedly this time, he rushed out of the house in his pajamas, determined to confront the person responsible. Seeing the culprit pretending to be clueless, the surrounding thugs began to jeer. The professor suddenly grabbed the thug's ear and forcibly dragged him to the side of the car, forcing him to apologize to his own rearview mirror. The scene left his wife utterly shocked, because her husband had always been timid and weak. Never did she expect he could also be so strong and assertive. That very night, the couple rediscovered their long-lost passion. Just as the professor's life was improving, Tony, who had escaped from the supermarket, wasn't so lucky because the lost gun was stolen from his father. Having grown up under the shadow of domestic violence, his fear of his father had seeped into his bones. To cover it up, Tony could only make a fake one and put it in the praying that his father would never find out. His risky robbery at the supermarket was actually for plastic surgery on himself. From childhood to adulthood, he had suffered discrimination due to a facial hemangioma. Finally managing to gather enough money for the surgery, the hospital told him they don't accept cash. Seeing his lifelong wish fall through once again, Tony collapsed, pounding on the car in despair. His friend Huang Mao quickly consoled him. "You look pretty good without surgery too." To prove he wasn't lying, Huang Mao even went up and kissed Tony. For a moment, both of them felt a little awkward. To break the awkward atmosphere, Huang Mao showed off the shoes he stole from the supermarket, successfully making Tony laugh. Then he brought some good news. The police still haven't found that handgun. Hearing this, Tony felt much relieved. Just as Huang Mao said, the police only knew the killer's name was Tony, and the weapon was a Desert Eagle. No other clues were found. This brought the case to a deadlock. What no one expected was that the gun had now become the professor's prized possession. He couldn't get enough of playing with it every night. He carries the gun with him even during the day. That day, the professor unexpectedly discovered one of his students was actually sleeping on the streets. After asking, he learned she had been evicted by a shady landlord, who even forcibly kept her luggage. The professor decided to stand up for the female student and took her to the landlord's place. Just as the student said, the landlord was extremely unreasonable. After just a few words, he locked them out. The student was ready to back down, thinking the luggage wasn't worth much anyway. But the professor decided to fight to the end. He picked up a flower pot, smashed the landlord's window, and barged right into the house, then went straight for the landlord's head. Not only did he make the landlord's nose bleed, but he also saw stars himself. Thankfully, he managed to intimidate the other guy. He told the student to get her luggage back, but just as they were about to leave, a cry for help suddenly came from the ground. Could this landlord be illegally holding someone captive? A sense of justice rushed to the professor's head. He simply pulled out his gun and pressed it right against the landlord's head. Sure enough, he forced out that there was a secret room underneath. But when they went inside, they found the cry for help was actually from a parrot. What the landlord illegally imprisoned wasn't human, but many rare protected animals. Once the news broke, the professor became a hero for saving endangered animals. His brave deeds were widely reported by the media, but the interview he gave was seen by Tony. He immediately recognized the professor as the customer from the supermarket. Could he be the one who took his gun? Tony quickly sent Blondie to tell the professor. Right after hanging up, he got some good news. A hospital agreed to perform surgery on him. Tony was overjoyed, completely unaware that his father was standing ominously behind him.
Who is Tony?
That is me.
But I clearly remember your name is Simon. Not happy with the name your mom gave you.
No, Dad.
My friends all call me Tony. They got it wrong.
But Dad, I always mess up saying Simon.
You mess up all the sounds.
Simon. Back to the professor's side. Ever since becoming a hero, he has been totally full of himself, even planning to quit the university to focus on fighting for justice. He had a big fight with his wife over it, and came to the park to clear his head. Suddenly, he felt someone watching him, quickly pulled out his gun and hid behind a tree. When the sound got closer, he rushed out suddenly, only to find it was just a kid picking up a ball. Seeing it was a false alarm, the professor hurried back home. Little did he know the gun-wielding scene was all seen by the blonde guy. He quickly called Tony, but he was at the plastic surgery clinic waiting, only contact after the procedure.
So, after you get handsome,
you won't ignore me, will you?
You'll always be my best buddy.
Early the next morning, the police knocked on the professor's door, saying they got a report of someone with a gun nearby. Luckily, the wife provided an alibi, helping the professor avoid the police search. But then he couldn't stay calm. Afraid one day his hidden gun would be discovered, the professor had to swallow his reluctance and threw the gun into a lake, just when he thought he was safe. Tony's dad noticed something off with the safe. He was about to open the box when the doorbell interrupted. The visitor was the female officer investigating the supermarket case. Knowing Uncle Fatty is a weapons expert, she came specifically to ask for the Desert Eagle collector list. She didn't know Uncle Fatty's real identity is a killer. After learning her purpose, Uncle Fatty generously provided the list and even invited the officer for a drink. Since the last Alcoholics Anonymous meeting, they haven't seen each other in 2 whole years. But the detective's got a case to crack. She brushes off his invite. Without a sense she's leaving, she tosses out a casual question.
Ever heard of a guy named Tony?
Tony!
Nope. Doesn't ring a bell.
Barely done waving goodbye to the cop, Uncle Fatty has another visitor. This time it's Yellowhead. Turns out he couldn't get a hold of Tony on the phone, so he figured he'd just swing by the house.
Just asking about Tony.
Simon.
Yes.
Is he around?
Tried calling, but he didn't pick up.
No, he's not here.
All right, then. You can come inside and wait if you want.
Later that afternoon, Tony stumbles through the door, his face wrapped in bandages. The surgery went off without a hitch. He was all set to kick back and heal up for a few days. But the second he walks in, he spots the empty gun case. A sinking feeling hits him like a ton of bricks. Before he can react, his dad's fist comes swinging. Even as he begs, pleading for mercy, Uncle Fats doesn't let up, laying into him with a punch right on his steel tender face.